right, all right, all right. I think everything is working. Let me double check. Let me pull it up on my other machine. Yes, it's totally working. Okay. Let's do mute on this one. And we actually, I'm just gonna close that down. Okay, wonderful. Well, welcome back. This is part 2 of setting up the automation, mic automation cues for the StageTracks show of Cinderella on Broadway. And by now, I actually have the correct show here loaded on the right side of the panel of the screen. It is now loaded Cinderella Broadway into StageTracks, and you can see all the tracks here now match what I have loaded in ShowPlayer. Let's go real quick over making sure that the network ports and the OSC connections are set correctly. OSC settings and export is over here now, and in StageTracks we're going to go to Tools and OSC Manager, and we see everything here as well. So let's see what we have. We have this device IP is the IP address of the computer that both of these apps are running on. So that requires a special setup, but over here we have ShowPlayer is currently set on this port at 192.168.4.82, which is the same computer, but we're actually going to change it to the local port just to not confuse anything here. This has to be 127.0.0.1, and that is the same IP address over here. So this is the IP address that you need to set for the same, if they're running on the same machine. Now we can let's see, let's just double check if the right cues are now playing. Let's see, this here is number 9 and it's playing all continuously. So Glass Slippers, it's possible, is our last one that required a trigger. So let's double check. I think we removed that yesterday. Oh, that's a small, no, we didn't. It's, what did we do? Okay, let's just test here and then we'll troubleshoot. Good. So this is going to impossible, and it's doing the things that we expect it to do here. All right. Well, let me actually give you an example for the second step, right? We did this yesterday already, and we're going to continue to go through the setup in just a second. But if I wanted to now actually put these events into StageTracks from ShowPlayer, so that StageTracks can trigger the mic automation that is set up in ShowPlayer, it's a very simple thing to do. I go to copy OSC on here, and I'm going over here and I'm going to read my bar number, measure 38, and that is going to be right here, and I'm going to create a new OSC event. The network port is selected here, we created before, right? And then we're just going to paste that thing that we copied from ShowPlayer into this over here. And there's actually a cool export function in ShowPlayer that makes it easier to copy and paste this, even if you are running this on an iPad. And so you can't easily just copy and paste it. And it makes it a little bit trickier to, if you had to type this whole thing in here, it would be pretty inconvenient. But there is a way to copy and paste it. I'll go over that later. Just let's demonstrate this here real quick. So if StageTracks is coming on over here, and this is ready, and there you go. Now the event over here, the mic change event that is in ShowPlayer got triggered by this event that we just created here in StageTracks, and the switchboard is now reflecting the new open mics that were triggered by this event right here. Okay, so we're not actually going to do all this because I'm going to do everything probably later. I just want to kind of move forward now and focus on the actual setup steps, and let's see what we have to do here to fix this this additional thing, and then we'll go on with mic events. All right, so we have this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change my mind on this. Just keep going here. By the way, if you have any questions, type them in the chat. If anyone is here at all watching while I'm doing this, that'd be great. I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have any. All right, and then this one as well in 74. So see, this is very quick to just add these events in here. No, just a quick copy and paste, and you're done. Right, so over here we are now. Yeah, that looks like it was. Just doing the same thing because this is actually muting everything except for Ella. Ella has some lines here and stuff. And so then when we get back here, the ensemble singing starts again, and ensemble is getting set. And now we're already in 8C over here. So we're going to have a problem with this glass slippers requiring a manual trigger. So let's double check on this and troubleshoot it a little bit. By the way, I should probably not play all that much music here. So, all right. Okay, going into the score. Ridicule. That is number 10. Oh, we were already on Gavotte. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to 8B in the score. 8C, okay. Score is big and long. Here we go. 8B, glass slippers. It says segue as 1 from number 8A. So I'm thinking, and that is also what was in the actual free setup that comes with our thing. So what I'm going to do is, that's a little bit tricky. That's a little tricky to make this so that it works for us. But you know what? For now, I will actually. I'm gonna do. Oh wait. I think it actually works the way it's supposed to, because these check marks and these arrows mean the kind of the opposite of what you think, because this means impossible is continuing to play. It's attacca transformations, and transformations is attacca glass slippers, and then glass slippers will not play attacca into the palace, and which is why we do have 8C here, but not 8B and 8A. Yes. Okay, so it's slightly confusing the way that the check marks and arrows are working, and what the meaning is in StageTracks, right? Because they actually affect the next track. So we don't need a manual trigger to start glass slippers, but because this check mark here says it's not continuing to play into the palace, and as opposed to transformations is continuing to play automatically and kicking off glass slippers, and it's possible. All right, so we know that that's good. So we're all on the same page here. We just triggered this one in impossible. Oh, this is always going on. This is always quite annoying. Here you go. Come on. There. All right. So let's trigger this last one again, and we are now ready for 8C into the palace. Nothing else is happening here. hold on a second. So I think this is kind of where we stopped yesterday. So we just really need to go and double check that actually we have to keep all of these people here on after measure 74, because I'm kind of thinking that we need some more mic automation. Something tells me that we need more mic automation. So transformations, impossible. Impossible is here. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm on the same page. All right. So measure 40, measure 69. Here's Ella and Marie. Okay, I think we need to go back and double check some stuff. We need to go. Okay. All right. Now I know. Now I remember. Okay, see what's happening here? These are actually marked for 8B and not for 8. All right. So this is slightly confusing the way I made this, right? All right. So now we're back. Okay, let's back up and start at the beginning of 08 Impossible. And from here on, we're going to work our way into the end of Act 1. All right, so this is starting with Marie and Ella, and that's wonderful. That is completely correct. And then, oh yeah. I remember now. I'm sorry, I was not on the same page with myself. So it goes through transformations. That's an underscore. There isn't really much happening, but it's just these two, Marie and Ella, on the stage. And they're most likely just going to maybe have some reactions. And so they should definitely keep their microphones open for this. I'm going to set the microphone over here so I don't have to keep talking away from the mic. So this is probably going to be better for the sound quality. Yeah. All right. Very nice. Okay. So we are through transformations. It's playing in attacker mode. So at the very end of Impossible, we're playing here. And now it's going to attacker play into transformations. There you go. Nothing happens with the mics. We're waiting here for this mic trigger to happen. And I will correctly place it in 8B once we're caught up here. All right, so at the end of transformations, it will then also play attacker into glass slippers. And there's still the same two people on stage, so the mics are still open for them. Nothing needed here on the automation side. And now we're in 8B. And this is where these events go. So now I have to place them correctly here. Let's just do this again. First one. This one goes to 53. And this one goes to 74. There. All right, so double checking here. Just Ella. Let me double check if that's a good thing, that this is just Ella. So it's Ella and Marie until this spot here. There everyone is singing, that's 38. Ooh. Yes. Very good, very good. Then we get to this spot here, and it's going just to Marie, no, just to Ella. Double checking. We're in measure 53. 53 is here, yes. Plain yellow pumpkin, that's just Ella. Very nice. And then in 75, it's going to be everyone again. women, men. Yes, ooh, ooh. Okay, good. Ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, okay, yes, 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 yes. Everyone is singing. That's good, that's good, that's good. And is Marie there? Yes, Marie is also on. Very good. All right, that takes us to the end of this. That is very correct. And then the next one goes off as applause segue, as we had entered here. And let's see what happens when we kick this off. Aha, this is a mute all. This is very correct. This is very good. This is very good. So then it plays through this. So we had to do applause segue. So this manual trigger is required for Into the Palace. Now it's going to continue into Gavotte. Right? And then this one here is in number 9 at measure 7. So we're going to put this in here. And then this here is in measure. So we're in number 9, so we don't need the 9 reference there. But we're still in number 9. And we now go to 17. That's this one. And the next one, so let's see what happens here, if this is correct. Okay, that is Topher and Sebastian. Topher and Sebastian. All right, it's catching up with the score. We're on number 9, and in measure 7 there is dialogue between Topher and Sebastian. Yes. Jawohl. And then we go to 27. That's Madame, Gabrielle, and Charlotte coming in. So they come in, and that's good. And then we're waiting for this gong. That gong, I'm actually not entirely sure that will actually happen. Oh, and that was the space, the vicinity of where it was kind of tricky to follow along with the script. Script versus score. We actually had a rehearsal on this yesterday, so I think I'm going to set this up mainly following this, mainly following the score and not so much the script. All right. All right. So what does this one do? This one actually triggers something. Let me just see what this does. Aha, there's a vamp. There is a vamp, and that's this one here. Okay, fine. Very good. So we're doing just the girls, and there's no other. Let me double check here. So that's dialogue. Topher is still there, and the steps, as I call them. Topher and the steps. Topher and the steps, and then Pinkelton grabs the mallet and hits the gong. That happens after this one. So we're coming here to this vamp. And now the vamp is actually ready to be devamped. So when you're ready to go, just go on. Okay. Fine. Let's stop this for a sec. Yeah, bum 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 ba-da-dum bum bum. Okay, now Madame pushes Topher's new dance partner. All right, so that's Gabrielle and Topher. All right, so that's still those people, and they're having dialogue. Topher and Gabrielle really only. We could mute. There's a lady that says, "Hey." Okay, she just reacts. I don't think she's even gonna have a microphone. So no, it's Charlotte and Gabrielle. Gabrielle. Is Madame around? Oh, you should probably keep her open for some reactions. Yes. Okay, so that's fine. Gabrielle, Topher, Charlotte, they're doing stuff, and then the Duchess comes in. That was in here already, right? to do Duchess, so that is to be determined later who the Duchess is and if she needs to be on a mic. Let's see what the Duchess. It's the Prince. Well, she's probably going to be not on a mic, I guess. So if it happens to be one of the other ladies that are mic'd on the ensemble mics, then we can open this here and just add it to the scene, or actually possibly create another another triggered mic event in the vicinity of 125 or so. That would be possible. But still, this is for later to decide. Are we still in 9? Yes, we are still in 9. Ah. Well, I tell you what, why don't we just set one up? And we're going to put it in measure. Put it in measure 130. And this is a to-do at Duchess if mic'd. Add Duchess if mic'd, so she will be somewhere in the back here, but I'm not going to add her right now. But I will bring this over here into measure 130. There. Okay, so let me just comment here for later. If you bring your free, if you get access to your free track, to your free show code for ShowPlayer, and you're planning on doing any of this setup yourself, the way that makes this real simple to copy and paste is to use this export function here in the OSC settings. This thing here, when you're done with everything, it will output all of the events that you've created in ShowPlayer, and it will output them into a spreadsheet. So then you can output them from your iPad. If you're setting this up in an iPad, you can output them from an iPad, share them, bring them over to your computer where you're running StageTracks, open the spreadsheet there, and then you will have these OSC codes that I keep pasting in here. You will have them all in the spreadsheet, and you will have also the names that you put on the cues here, which you see I'm tagging them like this by measure number for where they're supposed to go. And that's a good template to use this type of scheming here, naming scheme, because then you can just go through the list in the spreadsheet, and for all of the events that are named like this, just go, okay, this goes into measure 7, and I'm in number 9. So then I create all the events in a row here quickly, and paste or copy the OSC commands from the spreadsheet and paste them into the OSC events. So that's making it, quite easy and as easy as it gets to set up the events yourself. But keep in mind that you can also purchase the complete mic automation already set up in the ShowPlayer file from us for a very reasonable fee. So this will be something you can request. All right, moving on. We are here, measure 130 to do, and maybe the Duchess comes in here. So let's get rid of the Duchess comment here because we've already covered it in an actual event. And we are now moving on. All right. Okay, so from after the Duchess, there's a fight. Okay, the fight, we should actually do that. The fight is starting in 73. So I'm going to set up an event for measure 138 to do a mute all, and this here is the fight. So let's get all of them off, and I'll bring this one over here and plug it in here. There. Okay, I can see that there's nothing going on. Then this goes on until, yeah. Very good. So then Topher sees Ella. So Ella enters. Where was that? Where was Ella enters? This is actually all without dialogue, so we don't even need to worry about it. And then we get into ridicule. All right, Sebastian is that. Okay, hold on. Now let me double check where we are in the script. We're doing really well here with the score, but we should double check what's going on with the script. Here's ridicule. All right, it's time to play ridicule. It's the prince. So there's nothing in the script between this Duchess cue here. It's the prince and the end of the fight. So all of the stuff where Ella appears, everyone in the ballroom freezes at the sight of her, struck by her tremendous beauty. Topher sees her, the crowd parts. Topher bows, Ella curtsies, Topher offers his hand. All right, so I think we would be really well off if we would just actually create a cue here for the very end of Gavotte, so that we can and that is where Topher offers his hand to Ella. And right before this, somewhere here, we're going to have this event that we're going to create here right now. So we're going to create it for measure 182, and this is unmute Pinkleton, like so. Gosh, why is autocorrect now even on a computer, on a desktop? That is not a nice thing. Okay, there's Pinkleton number 3. That's all we need. Let's see, what is going on the next side? We can probably, there's Topher, but that's tick sides. Okay, that's fine. Let's just do Topher, just Pinkleton alone. And let's bring this event over here, like so. All right. Wonderful. Pinkleton got unmuted, and here he's going to say, "Hey everyone, it's time to play ridicule," and everyone goes blah 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 blah. And this is actually everyone takes sides. That is our You know what? Okay, hold on. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Oh, this is weird. It says here, oh, it's actually Sebastian. Okay, never mind. It's time to play ridicule. Everyone, take sides. So we're going to have page 42. Q, take sides. There. Okay. And then here we want to unmute Ella and Sebastian. Wait, not Ella yet. Not Ella. Just Topher and Sebastian. There's Pinkleton, then there's all. Okay, we're coming up on some singing pretty soon, but we'll create a separate event for that. So in this here, it's just going to be Topher responding to Sebastian, and this will be triggered with the start of ridicule. So that's all fine. But let's go back to this event here and fix this, because it's not Pinkerton, it's Sebastian. It's Sebastian. So let's fix it like so, and we might as well. Might as well just turn on Topher here. I think that would be beneficial. All right, let's go back to the end of Gavotte. Observe this one more time here, how this changes properly. Very good. And then we start. Everyone, take sides. Yes. Wonderful. And this is now ridicule. Yes, and we're in the right page. All right, wonderful. So we got here. There's now Topher and Sebastian dialogue over this intro, and then there's everyone singing starts at measure 13. So we need another unmute event here for everyone. We're going to put it in measure 12. I always like to put it a little bit before it needs to happen. So I'm just going to put everyone on here and including the steps. I think this will be a good set for this. All. And that's for measure 12, and that got into the right place, and that's wonderful. And so I'm going to put this over here. There. Good. Okay, here's the caesura coming up. Is Pinkerton on? No, Pinkerton is not on this. So Pinkerton is going to go right into dialogue there. So I'm going to add Pinkerton to this one. All right. Okay, so here we go. And here's the caesura. So here we need to create something for this to continue. Okay, there's an older woman. Let's first determine that there's actually, before it continues, no, brava, touch. Let's see. The music stops. An older woman is stopped in front of Charlotte. Oh, but my dear, I love that dress, no matter how many times I see it. The room oozes and applauds. I remember, blah, blah, blah. So we have to have the older woman and Charlotte right. The crowd begins to dance again. Sebastian pulls Topher forward again. What do you even call that? Well, it's awfully sophisticated. Okay, here we go. I see it now. So Sebastian and Topher continue the dialogue once the music restarts. So let's do one thing at a time here. Sebastian and Topher are going to keep talking after the music starts again. So we're just going to create here the cue event, and we're going to say where that is. This is in gosh, this is so annoying that you always have to get information from essentially 3 different places, and the script and the score often don't line up, and sometimes the third place is sometimes in the vocal score that the actors have is sometimes a third set of information that you also need to consider. Okay, so Topher gestures to the winner. How do we say that here? It's, gosh, let's see from here, applause. Please don't speak of blah blah blah. All right, it's right here. I see it now. I see it now. Victory goes to Charlotte, and this is we are on page 42. Victory goes to Charlotte, and then resume Caesura. Okay. Okay. So now before this, I think we should clean this up a little bit. So they're all done singing. This here, bum 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 bum. This is Pinkerton saying 1 and 2 and 3, but no, the others are no longer singing. So right here we could, right here in 16, we're going to create another event. Measure 16. And this is dialogue, music stops. All right, and for this one, we're going to have older woman and Charlotte. So which one is Charlotte? Let's see. Let's look at our handy dandy mic map real quick. Charlotte is 7, and these ladies here, one of them is going to be an old lady. Let's just, we'll just pick 13 for now. So we're going to have 7 and 13 open here. 7 and 13. And yeah, then all react. But I usually don't like to have microphones open for crowd reactions, just because they tend to be really loud. And that's can be overwhelming, and they're usually in the theaters that I work in, they're usually loud enough, and just in the room, particularly when they're all yelling and cheering something loud. So I usually don't unmute the crowd for crowd reactions, but other than that, I think we should just keep Topher and Sebastian open, and we need to make sure that Pinkerton doesn't get cut off. So Pinkerton is probably the most important one to keep open. Sebastian, this here is Charlotte. She has dialogue, and the old lady, we just picked her for 13 right now. So we're gonna put a to-do here. Check that old lady is 13. All right. Okay. Good. And now we're going to create this event over here, right here in 16 we said, yes. So I'm going to paste it over here, and we can run this real quick, get it triggered, and we got the mic set as we wanted. Then they have their dialogue, then Topher indicates victory goes to Charlotte, and go. And that is then the music continues, everybody dances again, and Topher and Sebastian continue their dialogue. And then the next time the next time something else happens is in measure 29. That's when everyone sings boom diddy again. That's even questionable if everyone should be on mics for that one, but let's just make this consistent from what we had before. And we're going to create it right here. So let's see. Okay, no, not we're on the wrong. We forwarded, we jumped to the next track. That can be slightly confusing when you do things during setup and you trigger the last event in a song, then it goes to the next song, and when you're still setting up stuff, you sometimes think that you sometimes don't notice that you're now on the next song, so you have to pay attention to this. All right, so this all here, this is essentially what I want to do again when for the all singing spot here. And what did I say? 28. Yes, no, not 28. Where are we? Yeah, 28. And that's page. Yeah, never mind. Okay, fine. So I'm exactly at the right spot here. 28. Okay. Measure 28. All again. Now this is going to be switched around, so I'm going to have to move them in the right order. What is going on with moving it down? Okay, that needs to be fixed. Okay, so this is for the, this is automatically triggered when they stop. Ah, actually it needs to go to the very bottom, right? Like so. Because now we're starting from the end of the caesura. And then measure 28 is getting this one on. Right, very good. Now we go. There we go. All right, beautiful. And now we're on the next song. You see it switched to the next song here. And that is correct because Pinkerton is saying 1 and 2 and 3 again, and it stops. So let's see what happens in the script. And let's see if we have any. We don't have attacker going on, so that's good. Okay, yeah. Music stops. Here it is again. And so we're in 43 now, and we should do the same kind of thing that we did before. The 1 and 2 and 3 happens in measure 31, and so in measure 32. So that's at the very tail. This can sometimes be quite tricky. So I'm just going to put it right here at the very end of 31. I'm going to name it 31 point, or 31 line 4. And let's see, we can do this one for that. That's probably going to be pretty close. I'm going to do measure 31 line 4. And that is music stops and dialogue. And for that dialogue, let's see what we need for that one. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, now this time it's Madam. Let's actually get rid of all of them for now and just build it from scratch. Oh, this is not, this is Madam. Madam is 5. Madam is 5, and then Ella actually has dialogue here. So Madam and Ella, and then Sebastian comes in there, and then the next music starts again. Okay, then we're into kindness. Good. So it's just these 3 for the dialogue, and again we're going to keep Pinkerton. No, yeah, for this one we have to keep Pinkerton open because otherwise we're going to cut into his 1 and 2 and 3, right? Because we're firing the event right at the end of 1 and 2 and 3, and Pinkerton needs to stay open for that. Anything else? No, I don't think so. Now we need to move this to the right place. It has to go to the very bottom. Let's see if it does it. Yeah, okay. There. No? Was it right already before? There, now. Okay, so victory goes. Page 42. Then it triggers 28. And then when the music stops, we have to still add this event here. So let's copy it from here and bring it back here to the very last bit there. Paste it in. And there you go. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Now they're doing their dialogue, and then kindness. It's just kindness, and that is on page 43. Page 43, Q, it's just kindness. there. All right, and we should set the microphones. Let's see. Madame, Sebastian, Ella. Okay, yeah. Sebastian continues kindness. So Sebastian has to be still on. Oh yes, kindness is practiced now and in all great chords. That's Ella. And then Madame is on as well. Yeah. So Madame, it's just them continuing. Pinkerton is not in the picture anymore, so that's fine. So here we go, music. And you see, for these events, obviously, I don't know if it's obvious, but I just want to point it out. When you add the mic settings to this event right here that you're triggering from ShowPlayer, then you don't need an event to fire back from StageTracks, right? Because this event here, this start event for Start Song 10A event, already handles the mic events because you've set them here, right? And if you want to create an event that you trigger here, or any event that is triggered and it shouldn't handle mics, you can disarm the mics, suppress MIDI. That means, you know, the mic events aren't going to get sent. But yeah, so I just wanted to point that out that everything is done from ShowPlayer, and the only reason why I'm creating OSC events that fire back to ShowPlayer from StageTracks is so that I can get things in sync with the audio timeline, because ShowPlayer doesn't have the audio, right? StageTracks has the audio, and so therefore it has the audio timeline and can feed that back to ShowPlayer. That's why I'm creating the events for the mic automation where they have to happen triggered by the song timeline. All right, let's continue. Now here the music stops again and there's more dialogue. This dialogue is still just Ella, Sebastian, and Madame. And then, oh, there's actually Topher comes in. Let's do this. Let's put Topher in here, even though he's not immediately involved. But that's not a bad thing to have. All right, now this is a little bit strange that there are two skip events here, but actually I'm not going to worry about any of that. I'm not going to worry about any of that. The only problem, no. Never mind. So we're going to just go, Topher will say, I'll be the first, kindness. All right, and where does he say that? Right there, on page 44. All right, so page 44, Q, I'll be the first, kindness. It's a little bit long. That's gonna be a little tight to read on an iPhone, but I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. One can always edit it if one wants to see more, but here we go. So I'll be the first, kindness, and we have the same people. So there's actually a bunch of non-principal lines in this one. This is a bunch of non-principal lines. Let's see what else happens here, because there's another resume in there. So let's just, for now, we'll set this to Topher and Ella, and then Sebastian and a bunch of other people, and eventually Gabrielle is going to come in. So Gabrielle is going to be 6. So we're going to open for these, and we're going to say, we have to have a note here. We have to have a to-do note. Okay, well that's essentially the same. So well, but Madame isn't in there, so all right. So we're here. We're stopped. There's more dialogue here. Then Topher says, "I'll be the first. Kindness." Isn't it wonderful to have a pleasant young lady such as yourself in our court? Oh, I see. So it's like every piece of music splits up a little bit more of the dialogue. So in this case, we actually can put only Topher and Ella on this one if we want to clean up the sound real nicely, like so. Okay, so this is Topher and Ella. Okay, now here, okay, let me double check the script. Party you're throwing, is that it? Yeah. Party you're throwing. It's like every time they speak, a part of me dies. And then comes a lord stepping forward and so forth. Yeah. I see. Okay. So this is the little snippet here where Topher starts with kindness and makes a compliment to Ella, and she responds, and then Sebastian goes, every time they talk, it's part of me dies. So let's keep Sebastian open here. And I don't really want to get into creating additional manual events in here because I don't have to. So I'm just going to put a measure 6 event here to open people after they are done with their line. So this will be, oh, this is actually a perfect opportunity to put my to-do. Add individual for their lines. Individuals for their lines. That's what I'm going to say. And this is going to be a to-do because that has to be determined. We could, so these 3 are open for sure. We could just pick a few here, but I think it would be better to just leave it like this, and whoever runs the sound has to edit this event to reflect which mics they decided to open for those individual lines in the audience. I think this will be easier to do it this way. Okay, yeah, so we have to still put this event here. I'm going to put it at the end of this. So here. It's probably a little bit too late, so let's move it. Let's move it here before the ring out. Yeah. Then resume Caesura. That happens. Music continues. Where is that? That is. This comes. This information again is not in the script. It's in the score. So it's just like so much work to go back and forth and find everything. Part of me dies. Aha! Music go on Part of Me Dies. I see. Part of me dies. Right here. So this throwing is automated. And this part of me dies is still on page 44. Okay, page 44, part of me dies. Now, there is a slight danger here. So this is actually the cue where we need to add some lords. There's a lord, a woman, and a guest, and another guest. So it's four. It's four mics that need to be opened. And then a dignitary, and then a duchess, and then another, and so forth. And then finally Gabrielle. Okay. Where was Gabrielle again? Where was Gabrielle again? Well, let's look for Gabrielle real quick. Gabrielle is on 6. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so Gabrielle is at 6. Gabrielle is on 6, and there's other people that have dialogue in here. So like it's almost like one could just open a bunch of them here, and then hopefully they'll all be in the right place. That is probably the best thing to do here. And this is this part of me dies? Oh yeah, I thought, yeah, I typed it already, but I didn't save it, right? Okay, page 44, part of me dies. Part of me dies. To do check crowd mics. All right. Yes, this is good. Okay, now let me talk about. I'm actually going to change this because the individuals don't need to be added there. I'm going to just add Sebastian here. And we can take Sebastian out from here. No, out from here. Yes. All right. Now this is good. Okay, now let me show you what the danger is. So this starts like this. They have a little dialogue, plink, plink, back and forth, right here now. So they talk, and then it goes, Topher goes, I'll be the first, kindness, and you resume. And now he's nice to Ella, and Ella responds. Then Sebastian says, every time and da da la la la. So in case Sebastian's line is done before this ring out is done, you can go, part of me dies, right? But I don't know if you could hear it very well. It was cutting off the the ring out here of this held chord just a little bit, right? If I advance this too soon. So that's a slight danger, but let's not worry about it. Let's not worry about it. Let's not worry about it. Okay. Okay, part of me dies. That's right here. So I fire this, and then it continues there. Now I'm already in the next song, and is this the next? Yeah, it's the correct song. Yes. Okay, we're good. We're wonderful. So what could that be? Let's see who that is. Okay, let me see if someone can let the dog in so we don't hear him bark anymore. All right. Okay, so we're going to check if all of this music here All right, so this is all underscore for the Duchess and the guests and people being nice to each other and making nice remarks. That all takes us in the script. So Gabrielle is eventually the one that steps forward and says to Ella, grabbing her hand, "You are so kind, thank you. You make me wish I were a better person. There's something somewhat familiar about you." What could that be? And then segue S1, okay. Okay, and that's the reason why we don't have an event over here to start 10 minutes ago. Because it actually gets played attacca. What could that be? Segue S1. Yes. Wonderful. Okay. Now, Topher and Ella. Okay. I think it will be a good idea to put an event here for measure 1. And that will be, we'll just keep Gabrielle on for just a little bit longer, just so she doesn't get cut off in case she misses the exact transition with her last line. But then Topher talks, and then Topher sings. So actually not Ella. So just Topher and Gabrielle, and we will create another one in just a second here. Yeah, I think that would be safe. So this would be Topher right here. Yeah. Okay, now let's play this transition one more time. From here. Okay. Of course, I haven't added the event over here yet, so nothing happened. I do need to do that, but I want to create it right here at the very beginning. So, all right, now it's in. Now I'm playing this transition one more time. I'm actually not a big fan of how this ring out. That's very buttoned up, but in any case, the event fires. So that's good. Okay, now let's automate some more stuff here in 10 minutes ago. So once this has started, we can turn off Gabrielle. So we're going to put this in measure 3, mute Gabrielle. Typo. Okay, mute Gabrielle, and so it's Topher by himself. Grab this from here and put it in here. That's in 3, very good. And then Topher sings, and sings for a while by himself. Very nice, very nice. So then it's Topher dialogue. I'm sorry to be so effusive. And this is then doing Ella and Topher dialogue. We'll put that into 69. Measure 69. Add Ella. Of course, Gabrielle is no longer there. And we'll put this one in 69 right here. There. Right. This is Topher and Ella dialogue. I'm just going by the song here right now, or by the score, I should say. And then we have Ella solo. So it's not strictly necessary for my personal mixing style, but sometimes I like to kind of clean up the other people. In a duet, I like to clean up the other person, because there are tricks to mixing duets, but and obviously you have to handle it when you're when they're both singing. But when they're not both singing, and someone has one of them has a longer solo section, I kind of like to mute the other person for that stretch, and since it's automated, it's like, why not, right? So once you embrace automation, you might as well go for it. Okay, Ella sings solo for quite a while, but there's a little bit of a break. I wonder. Okay, keeps going, keeps going. It's essentially, oh, there's both. They both sing in 132, so we're going to create one for 131. That is for both, and that's good for that. All right, and we'll grab this one, put it into. Let's actually, we'll play this here real quick, so it triggers the correct one for the solo. There you go. Emma solo is on, and then we're going to put this one into 131. Create a new one there, paste, and there we go. All right, but we may not be done yet with this song. So yeah, we are. We are actually playing as one again. So this is Attacca. This is set to Attacca right here, and we're going into Waltz for a Ball. And Waltz for a Ball is entirely, I think, entirely without dialogue. Topher, short for Christopher. I may never come down, blah, blah. 10 minutes ago, reprise. All right, yes, that's where it gets interesting. So there's, in Waltz for a Ball, there's nothing. So we should essentially mute all for the waltz. Let me see how tight against the end of 10 minutes ago Ella sings. Not at all. So I'm going to mute off in 141. 141. Mute all. Turn them off. And here we go, and here we go. And that goes right here. There. Okay, so we're here, we're turning both on, then sing the last line. When they're done singing, it goes mute all, and then it plays into the waltz. And Waltz for a Ball, because there's nothing happening in Waltz for a Ball, we can remove this track. Because otherwise, yes. All right, so this one, let's see here, let's go to the playlist, and we're going to remove Waltz for a Ball. All right, so we're going from 10 minutes ago. It plays through the end, through Waltz for a Ball, and then it goes straight into 10 minutes ago reprise. Yeah. So, Waltz for a Ball plays through. There's no reason to touch stage tracks during a show for this. If you want to start at a specific spot during rehearsal, this is the rare occasion where you actually need to go into stage tracks. This is so weird. Okay. So 10 minutes ago, a reprise starts. That's this big misterioso. There's no dialogue anywhere in the front of it. And actually, the first time anything goes on here is when women start singing in Pick Up to 25. And we're in 10 minutes ago reprise. Yes, very good. So we're going to add this here. For measure, what should we say? Let's just put it at the beginning of 24. That's fine. All, pretty much all. pretty much all. Yes, even Topher and Charlotte, Ella, Gabrielle. And then this is including Topher and Lord Pinkerton. So Charlotte, Ella, and Gabrielle. Charlotte, Ella, and Gabrielle. And all the other, which is 9 again? 9 is, okay, so they're all singing. That's why they're here. Okay, and then also Pinkerton.
I think
and
to have the bookmark.
Which one?
Have our
Which book? Which book are you looking for?
bookmark.
Oh, the bookmark. What did I do with it? I was using it. Hold on. It's right here. I was using it. Maybe it fell down. You mean the one with the elephant? Where did I put it? Ah, here it is. Here it is. Here you go.
No,
Here.
I don't like it.
What? You said you wanted it.
I'm going down to my mom's.
Okay. Okay, so who's singing there? Pinkerton and Topher, they're included. So who's these people? Marie and Madame. I would think Madame is probably included. And who is 8 again? Sebastian. Sebastian is also singing. Probably Madame is singing too. Maybe not Marie. Maybe she's singing backstage. But let's do it like this, okay? So that is going to be in measure 24. So grab this one and put it right here. There.
Can you help me open the chest?
Yeah.
Open this chest.
Leave the chest open, okay, so you don't. Here, there's not a train.
Can you get the tracks?
No, not right now. I'm actually busy. I'm doing something real quick. You can just play with the choo-choos without tracks. Careful. Good. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Where were we? Oh yeah. So we got this one. They're all going. Let's see if we need to reduce them at some point, or if they're actually all on. I have a feeling they're done. They're on until the end. Yes, they are. So everyone cuts off at the end of 86. So I'm going to put a mute all at 88. Beautiful. Okay. Just put that in here as well. Right here. Let's test them real quick. This one. Everyone singing. And here is the mute all, and then we're into finale act 1. Look at this. This was actually going much faster than it was going yesterday overall, right? It's kind of like, it's good for the flow to set it up simultaneously, but you can't work the same way yesterday. We just kind of got bogged down at the end because there were some inconsistencies in the setup show file, which we, by the way, corrected, of course. Let's see, we're almost done. Wow, we haven't triggered anything for so long in the script. That's pretty interesting. Oh yeah, so here we go. We're on page 48. Hey, what's going on? Finale Act 1. Applause segue. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. So let's put page number in here, page 48. And this is going to be applause segue. Start song, and we have some microphones open there because... Okay, sorry, accident. I'm gonna mute you here for just a second. Okay, so the dialogue here is just Ella and Topher, so they are fine with like this. And then after the music starts... No. Okay, that's wrong, right? No, that is correct. So applause segue, Ella Topher. Ah, there's another bar 5 in here. I get it. Okay, very good. So it's all just this stuff. And then go bar 5A. So that's where we are. We're in the middle of this vamp here. So we're waiting for, and we're still on page 48. We're still on page 48. And we have a cue from Topher. Wait, young lady. And that will exit the vamp, but for this we need some more people for dialogue. Actually, Ella is done. Ella is not going to say anything anymore, but Sebastian will and Madame. And then there's just chase, chase, chase. Ella stumbles. Topher, wait, wait. I don't even know your name, Blackout. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good for here. And this will be kicking in right here. Yes. Oh, no, it doesn't need to be automated. This needs, I mean, it doesn't need to be sent back because it's triggered on the continuation, on the exit vamp, right? Yeah, okay, that's the dialogue for later, and then resumes to 013A. Where is that? That is scene changes to the exterior palace staircase. Oh, this is actually scene 9, the palace steps. Charlotte, Gabrielle, the guest stands off as the scene transitions. Ella runs down the staircase, blah, blah, blah. Ella runs back up, she takes a shoe and exits. Yeah, so this is just a timing coordination thing. So it's going to be on page 49. And we have something like this. There's Topher, it will still be there. Possibly Ella for efforts, but she doesn't have any dialogue. So I'm just going to keep her closed. And you can decide later if you want Ella efforts there. No, you wouldn't. Whoa, but that's not, hold on a second. That is not as appetized. That is an inconsistency because that's second. Ah, I see. So resume caesura in 13A. Ah, look at that. So there's actually no caesura here. There's no caesura. Oh, it's not in 13A. 13A is not the bar number. That's 13A. Sorry, I was mistaken here. My bad. So 13A is the song number. The caesura is actually in measure 32. So that is just the very, very end. So everything just plays, and at the very end, I don't even know your name. That's it. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. All right, that's an actual cue line there. That's much better. Much better. Cue. I don't even know your name. And that brings us then to the very end. All right. There. And that's actually blackout and mute all in this case. Okay, now in that case, let's do this. Let's spot a place. Let's spot a place where all this other dialogue is done, or is this already? Wait, young lady. 49, let's double check. 49, wait, young lady. Wait, young lady, where are you going? Stop. But I have to go. It's so wonderful, but I have to go. Wait, young lady. Wait, young lady. Huh? Huh. Well. This is something I might consider changing because I don't like how it's implemented. So they're waiting here. We're waiting for dialogue, right? Now I can devamp. If I do it this way, fine. That's okay. It works. But it's quite abrupt anyway. This continuation here. This is quite abrupt, so I might as well just retarget that with a little I might as well retarget that with a skip event like so. Okay, this is a little trick on the side, but hold on a second. I'm not going to change it right now because then the files are not going to be in sync. Yeah. Well, let me just show you a little trick. If I add a skip event here, like so, then instead of targeting the vamp over here, I can target the skip event, and that will make it better, safer. It's this one right here. That's 13A skip 5. So instead of doing this here, I would do that. And now I can do this anytime. This is waiting for me here. I can do it anytime and it doesn't matter. And I go straight to, wait, young lady. And it goes on right away rather than finishing the vamp first. Right, that's the difference. Okay, I'll leave it like this actually. I will leave it like this. Just gonna make myself a little note here. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're done, right? Wait, young lady. I'm still reconciling applause segue. I have to go Topher, Ella, Topher, Ella, Topher, Ella, Topher. Wait, young lady. So actually, yeah, okay, this is exactly right. This is exactly right. Wait, young lady. Sebastian, Madame, and Topher needs to be there still. Your Highness, Charlotte, Gabrielle. Okay, so somewhere here, I'm probably going to put another event to take out these mics that are going off stage. Somewhere in the ballpark of measure 8. Mute all but Topher, like so. I'm going to put this one in measure 8. That's just to clean up the mics a little bit so that we don't have, so they're dancing off. Okay, and then there's quite a bit of action still going on. This is to clear the ballroom with all the guests, gives them a chance to dance away, exit to music that is ballroom music, and then it transitions to the outside. There's likely going to happen some cleanup here, depending on the blocking and the timing of everything. So you might find yourself cutting a piece out of the finale, or something like that. And I don't know, and I don't want to anticipate that. I want to keep this, what I'm creating here. I'm setting this up as our complete built show that doesn't require many modifications for you to work with, right? So here at the very end, I don't even know your name. And there's the end of Act 1. Ta-da! Okay, so it took us, with everything included, it took us about, I would say about 3.5 hours to get through Act 1. I might put on another live stream recording for the other one. This is mainly just to document how the setup procedures work. Or actually, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to show you and just still bring this in here so that I'm completely done with this part. I'm going to show you, we started in 9 and we have a bunch of events before that. I'm going to show you how to do this export, OSC settings and export. Right here, it shows you that you can, you know, share your save the events, or share them and send them directly to your other device. So here you could, you know, if you have this on an iPad, you can just airdrop this directly into your Mac that is running StageTracks, and then open it on the Mac and that is running StageTracks and go with it. I would probably, if you're using things like Google Drive or so, I would probably use that to upload it directly to that, because then you can just open it in your browser and have it side by side, open it on the computer where you're running StageTracks, and in that case you're completely flexible. If you're running StageTracks on a PC, you can do that and then copy and paste. So since I have everything running on the same computer, I'm actually going to just start back at the beginning of the show and copy and paste all of the events that I've created here that need to be pasted into StageTracks over here. Okay, so there's nothing to do here. Here we have some, oops, not edit, sorry. I wanted to just copy OSC, and we're in Prologue. So in Prologue measure 21, that's right here. Paste that in there. Madam off stage, that goes into measure 44. Ooh, that's at the very end. Hold on a second, what is going on there? What is going on with that? Oh, that's kind of an inconsistency, I would say, here with the score. All right, we're going to put it right here. I'm just gonna, just for clerical accuracy, we're just gonna name this slightly different to, right? Yes. Not that that part's necessary, but I like to keep it nice and clean and accurate. There you go. Madam is off stage. Added to this. Okay, great. Now these are 2-page, so this is not, none of these need to go to okay, measure 31. And measure 88. Okay, next one is in 2A. Measure 7. That's right here. And then we're going on pages again. So page, really bless you, kind sir. Then the next one, Buttercup. Mute guys. That's just oh.
Okay, we can close it.
Hey. Mute guys go into 20. Okay, and these are manual cues on page 9 and page 10. This here is an automated cue. Let's do this one again. This is also, okay, add Caesura to StageTracks 13.1. Right here. Oh, I remember this very faintly. Let's do that, make it right. Yeah. Ah, okay, so yeah, of course, this has to be, we have to bring this back by doing this. So ROCS event go is this just syntax here. ROCS event, that's the event, and then go, right? Yes, that's a really clean start. That's nice. So that way, yes, beautiful, very nice. And this one goes off automatically. I'm gonna leave it in here for now. All right. Okay, page, next song, exit vam, page cue, page cue, page cue, page cue, page cue, add Topher, measure 9, measure 6, whoa. Which song are we on? 4A, no, that's good. Measure 19.3, that's here. And then measure 32.3. Okay, then page 17. Measure 21. Page 19. Measure 67. Page, we don't know exactly where that is, but in measure 142, we need Madame. Page, measure 177. Measure 180. Measure 179. And sorry, that's 197. Measure 180. We already did this. Sorry. So measure 274. Measure 280. Measure 293. Measure 297. And that's a manual mute all. Yeah, because they're saying ha there at the very end. So you can't get out of this safely. Plus segue. Unmute Marie. 16.2. Page, that's page 26. Page 27, page 27, page 27. Page measure 65. Ooh, that's weird. That's weird. That's wrong. Why is it wrong? Let's go to 05B and see what's going on there with the orange box thing. Feels like that 65 is just the wrong number. What are we doing? At Jean-Marie.
Can you take this ladder, Opa?
What are we doing with it?
Can you hold this ladder for me?
Where do you want to use it?
I'm going to use it right here. Right there.
On the shelves. How about like so?
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I think you should try it like this.
Oh.
Okay. Who's visiting? Huh? Nothing. Who's visiting?
This is Texas.
Yeah, you're right. Who's visiting? Is your grandma visiting? Who's visiting?
Tony.
Tony?
Yeah.
So it looks to me like this is kind of a stray one. What page number are we on? Let's look at this. Let's look at the script again. Jean-Marie is nowhere near here. Jean-Marie is nowhere near. Oh, Jean-Michel, Jean-Michel, Jean-Michel. Jean-Michel Jean-Michel is here, but would you perhaps consider, oh yeah, so but is this, off to the ball, 6, Venetian glass, beautiful daughter Gabrielle. Okay, fetch the orange box from Venice, blah, blah, blah. Ah, courageous Charlotte, Gabrielle. Ah, there's a knock on the door. There's a knock on the door. So the idea here is to put this at the very end. Let's just put it on 15. And I have a feeling that this might require some adjustments. I'm just going to put 15 here. That seems like the most likely problem. And this is page 28. Okay, good. Good. He died. I got a house. Good. All right. Okay, now let's continue. Let's continue. Here is one. Oh, there's measure 66. Ah, this seems like the most likely one to have been confused with that, right? Yeah, I think I remember now. Ha, that's absurd. Ha. And then measure 40, add Marie. All right. Okay, then the next one is here. Aha. Now we are back to the beginning of this whole stream. And this here is now in the wrong place, right? Because, yeah, this is the one that triggers here and it shouldn't. So this has to be removed. This has to be removed. And this has to be removed. All right. Now I'm actually caught up. Now I'm completely done with Act 1. Good. Well, there you go.
Oh, cool.
Cinderella Broadway Edition Act 1 is done. Thanks a lot for being here or watching or taking any advantage of this live stream. I'll do another one for Act 2, and I think we'll be in the groove of it, and it'll be faster when we can set it up directly with StageTracks side by side. You don't have to go back and paste everything, although, you know, with the export, this is not a bad solution for that either. All right, see you soon. This is Thomas Bartke. Have a nice day. Have a great weekend.